Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw tips and tricks. And somebody's trying to set up a shop and they want to have windows and doors and a plasma cutter and a CNC table that are 4 feet by 8 feet. Instead of drawing this in feet, I'm drawing it in inches. The building is 30 feet by 30 feet, so I made it 30 inches by 30 inches. The door is an 8-inch door, which equals 8 feet. The plasma table is a 8 foot by 4 foot table, which is 8 inches by 4 inches. Now you could draw this in feet. So he's going to have two of these. He's going to have a CNC router and a CNC plasma cutter. Then he's also going to have table saws, and that's depending on how big your out-feet tables are. And he's just wanting to know how to kind of draw it in Corel. Let's say it all depends on where your doors are. So let's put a door let's just start in this corner. And you want the door, I stretched it instead of moving it. Well, you want to get the 4-point cross. You want the door 2 feet away. So we're going to, from the corner. So we're going to put the door two feet away. Now, a plasma table is extremely dirty. It's the soot. And so I have a large fan blowing out one of my doors. So let's say you have another door, either here. And the way you could do it is hold down Control D to make a duplicate, and then hold down the shift key and grab that and hit B as in boy. And it's going to, it didn't put it right in the middle, but it's probably good enough. And we could just move that down, holding a control button till where it gets in the middle. And then, your windows placement, wherever you want to put them, turn them in a, 90-degree angle. But it does help to kind of visually see. So let's say this is going to be his plasma table. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And you would want it 3 feet off the wall. So we're going to change our nudge factor to 3 inches. And we're going to go down and over. So that's where I would put my plasma table. You want to have some walking room around it. This would be good for your door. If you set this is you're controlling in, and you're going to be standing here, and your computer's here, and have a large, go to Tractor Supply or something and buy you a large box fan. And I've actually even got my table skirted, where even the smoke has to go underneath, and then the fan sucks it all out. So you just, figure out what size fan you want, then your CNC, router machine, depending on your layout, just do everything in inches. And we've still got it set. You want some, 3-foot intervals, so you could still walk around it. And then your table saw, I like my table saw, like where I am. Let's say this is my working edge of my table saw. I want my table saw right in front of my door. And let's say it's 3 feet off the, so you can close the door. That way, if you're working with longboards or sheet goods, you're not wasting too much space in your shop. And let's say you have a, 4 by 8 sheet of plywood. So we'll make this 4 by 8. And if you're trying to rip, let's make it the color of a piece of wood. And if you're trying to rip it, you can come from, and here's your rip fence, on your table saw. You can get it in the door. Just kind of think about that and still be able to rip a 4 by 8 sheet of plywood. Of course, you're going to have a outfeed table on it. And so you just kind of figure all that in, and you might not even have an outfeed table on it. But, and then you're going to have drill presses. And I like, this, where you can bring the wood from the outside and just start working with it. And then now also, if you run this fan, you've got some breeze going across you, then you need to think about your dust collection and everything. My shop, I've got a walk-through door. My shop's like 30 by 40, I think. So I have a walk-through door like right there. And then I have a 10-foot overhead, it's actually a 10-foot door. And I have a door right here. that I actually keep closed most of the time. It's just whenever I need to get behind it. And then so I can walk in, there's your table saw. You know, it all depends on your layout of your land. But, you know, measure, you know, just use inches. And, you know, like there's a 4x8 CNC machine, you know, and maybe your controls for the machine are over here and your controls for this are over here. But the fan is a big deal. I might even link a video if I've got one with my machine running, and the gases and the heat are being sucked out of the building. That's a big deal. So I would have, you know, maybe at least 3 doors, and depending on where your other shop is or your house, you know, how you're going to get into it. You know, it's a lot of personal preference, but just, you know, measure out your, you know, if you got a planer, where are you going to put your planer? Where are you going to put your drill press? Where are you going to put your chop saw? You know, chop saw needs to be on a wall with some support for cutting. And, you know, just kind of, I'm not really helping him too much, I think, but just to work in inches instead of feet. But it's pretty nice because you can lay it out. And, you know, if you do put an outfeed table on it, my outfeed table is probably as big as the table saw. You know, it's like a 4x8 sheet. And, you know, if you put the outfeed table so your boards won't fall off. Mine is actually retractable where it'll actually fold underneath itself. So it's not quite, you know, I don't ever retract it anymore because I've got so much junk on it. And this is my gluing station. But, you know, there's your you know, just kind of work it out. This won't help too many of my viewers, but hopefully it'll help him a little bit. But do think about sucking the air out of your plasma table. And maybe even, you know, it wouldn't be a bad idea if, you know, have another door right here or right here that you could blow, you know, the wood chips out in the yard or out in the field or whatever after you've cut with your CNC machine. Anyway, I hope that helped them a little bit. Thank you for watching.